Hello, this video is on inverse variation, as shown here in the syllabus. Two quantities are inversely proportional if when one is multiplied by a constant and the other is divided by the same constant. If the quantities y and x are inversely proportional, then we write y varies with 1 over x. This leads to the equation y equals k over x, where k is a constant called the constant of proportionality. We can also say that y varies inversely with x, and k is also called the constant of variation. In general, when y is graphed against x, the graph has the shape shown. Both the y-axis and the x-axis are asymptotes of the graph. So the graph does not have a y-intercept or an x-intercept. Note that as x increases, y decreases. One pair of coordinates is needed to find the value of k, the constant of proportionality. Substituting these coordinates into the equation and solving the equation for k will give the value of the constant. In this example, Emily travels with an average speed of x kilometers per hour and the trip takes y hours. The table shows some possible combinations of x and y. Note that when the speed is doubled, the time is halved. The inverse variation model for this situation is y equals k over x. Substituting any of the pairs of values of x and y into the equation and solving for k will give the value of the constant. I've chosen to use the first pair. The value of k is equal to 200, and hence the equation connecting the journey time and average speed is y equals 200 over x. In part A of this question, we're asked to find the value of y when x is equal to 40. Starting by stating the variation, as we're told that y is inversely proportional to x, we can write y equals k over x. Next, substituting in the given values, replacing y with 12 and x with 10, rearranging the equation to find k, giving k equals 120, as shown. Alternatively, we can use Solver on the calculator. From the main menu, select Equation, then press F3, Solver. Type in the equation, so that's 12, pressing Shift to access equals, then pressing the fraction button, pressing the x variable to represent k, and the down cursor to get to the denominator, and entering 10. Press Execute to enter the equation. Note that the number next to x is not the solution to the equation, as we haven't pressed Solve yet. Press F6 to solve the equation. And we see that the value of x, which represents k, is 120, as we had before. Next, state the equation by replacing k with 120. Then substitute in the new value of x, which is 40. So as x goes up from a value of 10 to 40, we would expect y to decrease from a value of 12. Performing the calculation gives y equals 3. So when x equals 40, y is equal to 3. In part B, we're asked to find the value of x when y is equal to 8. Starting by stating the equation, and substituting in the new value, which is y equals 8. As y has decreased, x will increase. Replacing y with 8 and solving the equation for x gives a value of 15. You can also use solver to solve the equation. Press F1, repeat, press the up cursor to get up to the equation line and type in the equation. 8, shift to access equals, and then pressing the fraction button, and then 120 for the numerator, and scroll down and press the x variable to enter x. Press execute to enter the equation and F6 to solve the equation. Again, giving x equals 15. So when y is equal to 8, x is equal to 15. Alternatively, once you have the equation, you can draw the graph. From the main menu, select Graph and type the equation into y1. Pressing the fraction button, 120 in the numerator, and pressing the x variable for the denominator. Press execute to enter the equation. Press Shift F3 View Window to set an appropriate window. I'm going to set -5 for x min, 50 for x max with a scale of 10, and for y I'm going to set -5 for y min, 50 for y max, and again a scale of 10. Press execute, then F6 to draw the graph of the equation. To find the value of y, on the calculator, this is a y calculation. Press F5, G-solve, F6 to get to the second page of tabs, and F1 for a y calculation. Enter the value of x, which is 40, and press execute. Write down the value of y, which is 3, the same value as before. So when x equals 40, y is equal to 3. To find x on the calculator, this is an x calculation. Press F5, G-solve, F6 to get to the second page of tabs, and F2 for an x calculation. Enter the value of y, which is 8, and press execute. Write down the value of x, which is 15, the same value as before. So when y is equal to 8, x is equal to 15.